Do you want to be better than 99% of the normies at making money, marketing, relationships, and health? Today, I have the one secret that makes that possible for you. Michael McLean, brassballsvideos.com. I am an ex-pro, minor pro hockey coach, ex-junior championship hockey coach, turned 8-figure entrepreneur. You can download a copy of my book for free at the link below, brassballsvideos.com. It is titled 5 Ways to Unfuck Your Life in the Next 30 Days. It is a digital book, 22 pages. You can read it in one sitting. It's free. There's no funnel. There's no upsells. There's no fancy sales page. You just put in your email and I'll email you a copy of the book within 5 minutes. The link is below, brassballsvideos.com, nothing to buy. So it's interesting. It's called the rule. I call it the badass rule of 100. And it's a rule that's absolutely governed my life. It's one of my top rules that I think about all the time. And now that I'm a father, now that I'm a coach and a consultant, I think about this rule every day. And the term I give this rule is violent consistency. Violent consistency. This is my rule, my badass rule of violent consistency. And it's the rule of 100. So this is not my opinion. This is not an unproven theory. This is my badass rule of violent consistency and the power of compounding little tiny wins every day. Stacking up the wins, pounding the rock. And when you're violently consistent with these tiny, tiny victories every day, you just stack the wins. You end up accomplishing more by 9 o'clock in the morning than most people will accomplish in an entire month. So what is my violent consistency rule of 100? Here is the facts behind it. If you put 100 hours, this is a writer-downer. If you put 100 hours into serious study, reading a book, listening to a podcast, taking notes. I'm talking about serious study, not iPhone junkie study, not 7-second attention span goldfish study, serious study. If you sit down and you block out all the noise and distractions and you study any discipline for 100 hours in an entire year, after that 1 year and that 100 hours of serious study, you will be more capable and better at that, more knowledgeable than 99% of the great unwashed general population. 99%. If you study seriously any discipline, whether it's martial arts, whether it's copywriting, whether it's direct response marketing, whether it's artificial stupidity, whether it's nutrition, whether it's health, whether it's getting your marriage on fire, whatever it is, shooting videos, whatever it is, whatever the discipline is, walking, whatever it is, and you put in 100 hours in a year of serious study, you just launched yourself into the top 1%. I always talk about top 1% this, top 1% this. You know, not being part of the 99 average, mediocre, quiet desperation crowd. But most entrepreneurs and husbands and fathers have no clue how to launch themselves into the top 1% of any area. Marriage, relationships, health, money. Top 1% requires becoming a serious student of any discipline. And if you study it, okay, for 100 hours in a year, you will know more, you'll be more capable than 99% of the general public, because they won't study, they're not serious students, they're on to the next thing, and they have no violent consistency. They have no compounding effect. They have no, they can't show up, and they miss. They miss. So here's the key part, which is just mind exploding. That 100 hours in a year that you need, that you say, oh, well, it's hard to become a copywriter. Oh, it's hard to write emails every day. Oh, it's hard to shoot videos. Oh, it's hard to publish a print newsletter. Oh, it's hard to build a following on social media. Oh, it's hard to get in the best physical shape of your life. Oh, it's hard to build a marriage that's on fire. Oh, it's hard to connect with children today. Do you know what it takes to be a top 1%er, those 100 hours? It takes 18 minutes per day. Do the math. When I don't like to do public math, but when I do math, strong men tremble. But I'll tell you, 100 hours a year is 18 minutes a day. So what excuse do you have for something that you claim you want to become a master at? I'm talking about mastery here. I'm not talking about being fair or okay or even good. I'm talking about 100 hours of violent consistency. Are you with me here? 100 hours of violent consistency, 18 minutes a day to become world class at that one thing. That's the power of laser focus. That's the power of compounding. And that's the power of violent consistency. That's it. The tiny win, the tiny W's I talk about stacking every day that nobody does, it's 18 minutes. 18 minutes of studying email marketing. 18 minutes of writing emails. 18 minutes going to the gym. 18 minutes of walking. 18 minutes of learning about the foods that you need to eat to change your body, to change your health. Whatever it is, art, music, whatever it is, taking up, learning the game of chess, reading more, 18 minutes a day. 18 minutes a day, day after day, doing what nobody else will do. Everybody misses. I don't miss. Well, Michael, I need your consistency, right? I don't know how you do it, Michael. Well, I'll tell you how I do it. I don't miss. I've got violent consistency with a handful of things baked into my mentality. Like it's part of who I am. It's not what I do. So when I get up and I walk, that's not what I do. I don't get up and put in 15,000 steps a day. I get up and it's who I am. I cannot not walk. I'd be all flustered. I'd be depressed. I'd be anxious. I'd be stressed. I'd be all those things. Because walking every day, violent consistency every day is who I am. It's an ingrained habit. And you can do the same thing starting out at 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But when you get up to the 100 hours, that's where all of a sudden any discipline that you're talking about, whether it's marketing, copywriting, whatever it is, all of a sudden you start to set yourself apart from everybody else. 99% difference. So you have to ask yourself, you have to say, okay, what do I want to become master at? What do I want to add to my life that's going to make a significant difference to me? What's something that's going to make a massive difference? Whether it's copywriting, whether it's email marketing, whether it's fitness, whether it's relationships, whether it's health. If you became a top 1% expert, a master at that, with 100 hours of absolute violent consistency, 100 hours of violent consistency over the next year, what's that one thing? And then all you have to worry about, all you have to focus on is 18 minutes a day. 18 minutes a day. That's That's why I wear myself out talking about stacking the wins every day. That's how I started writing. That's how I started reading. That's how I learned copywriting. That's how I learned marketing. I didn't know anything about any of those things. And I've continued to learn and become a master at things that are way outside those realms now. I learned how to, I've learned about AI. I've learned about nutrition. I've learned about weight training. I've learned about body weight exercises. I've learned about mental toughness. I've learned about all these things, 100 hours a year. And of course, you can do more than that. You can do a lot more. But it's never, ever been easier to be number one. I guess that's where I'm going with this. It's never, ever been easier to be number one. I mean, if you can't put in 18 minutes a day into something that you say you want, I want to become a master at money, Michael. I want to become a master in real estate. I want to become a master in copywriting. I want to become a master in investments. I want to become a master. I want to become a master in whatever it is. And you can't be violently consistent 7 days a week, 30 days a month, 365 times a year. I have no fucking sympathy for you. You're your own worst enemy. Instead, you put in the 18 minutes a day, you read, you study, you block out the noise, you put the phone away, and within a few weeks, a few months, and a year, you're top 1%. You're top 1%. So never use the excuse, I'm too busy, I got too much on my plate. Michael, I want to start a side business. I want to start a side hustle. I get this all the time. I want to start a side business that makes me 5 or 10 grand. It would make all the difference in my world. If I could start a second business, a side hustle, where I make 5 or 10 grand a month, every month, add $100,000 or $150,000, whatever it is. So simple to do. I could do it with half my brain's time behind my back. And I get it all the time. I'm like, simple. Decide what you need to master and put 18 minutes of study into that. Study for 18 minutes a day, stack the wins 7 days a week on how you can add $10,000 side hustle or a second business. I study that stuff all the time. I studied how to build a $10,000 a month business. Then I studied $50,000 a month business. Then I studied how to create a $100,000 business with marketing. Then I studied how to do $500,000 a month. And then your results follow your study. This is the power of 100, the rule of 100, the rule of violent consistency. When you're violently consistent for 100 hours in any specialty, in any discipline, in any art, in any science, in any skill development, you immediately leapfrog. In 1 year, you leapfrog 99% of people. You literally leave them in the dust. You literally know more about than all of the 99%. And then you get paid like a 1%er. You have the confidence of the 1%er. You have the self-image of a 1%er. You have all of that stuff going on. So there's no excuses for being busy. There's no excuses for not using my badass rule of 100. 100 hours of violent consistency, and then what that can do for you in 1 year. Now, if you're like me, a total ham and egg grinder, and you do it for 5 years, and you're violently consistent for 10 years, and you're violently consistent for 20 years, in whatever discipline you're in, then you separate yourself from 1% into 1% of 1%, and then 1% of 1% of 1%. You see where I'm going with this? It takes almost no effort to separate yourself from the mediocre majority. It takes almost no effort to separate yourself from the mediocre majority. It takes 18 minutes a day. You have 24 hours. You have 24 hours every day, and you need to invest 18 hours of absolute drilled in laser focus, 7 days a week, 30 days a month, 365. And that's the test. And that's what 99% can't do. They can't do it. They miss. They miss. And you need to be the man who is like, I'm not the smartest, I'm not the most talented, I'm not the most gifted, but I don't miss. I don't miss my 18 minutes. This is what I gotta do. This is 1% of my time. This is all I have to do to become a master in this discipline, to become the world's best in this discipline, or to be a top 1%, or at least in this discipline. Then I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that for 18 minutes a day, which is the 100-hour, good morning, the 100-hour violent consistency rule. I win because I don't miss. If you're losing, it's because you're missing in that particular area of your life. You're missing in that particular area of your life. Put that on a white card. The rule, my badass rule of 100, my violent consistency, I call it. Violent consistency, my rule, my badass rule of 100. And deep six, the excuses, and all that other horse shit about not having time or whatever. You want to start a side business, you can start a side business. You want to become a stud in a certain area or expertise, you can do it. You want to learn a new language, you can do it. You want to learn the money game, you can do it. You want to learn the marketing game, you can do it. You want to get in the best shape of your life, you can do it. You want to improve your health, you can do it. You want to improve your marriage, you can do it. You want to improve your connection with your children, you can do it. You want to become a 7-figure earner, you can do it. You want to become an 8-figure earner, you can do it. You can do it. But you've got to live. You've got to live. It's got to be part of your DNA. You've got to live the 18-minute rule of 100, violent consistency. You've got to put the power of compounding to work. Every day, chip away, pound the rock. Doesn't look like you're making any progress. Doesn't look like you're winning. Doesn't look like it. People are giving up. People are quitting. You know, it's not easy. It's hard. Boom! Tipping point, and all of a sudden your life transforms. That's the power of 100. That's the pound the rock concept. Keeps chipping away like the stone cutter. Chip away. Doesn't look like you're making any progress. Chip away. Boom! The stone cracks right open. And you were just about to quit before you hit it that 10,000th time. That's the difference between winners and losers. You know the difference between a loser and a winner? You know the difference between a champion and a chump? Do you know the difference between a tomato can and a total champion cleaner? The winner, the contender, the champion went back and hit the stone one more time. The champion, the contender, the baller, they went back and they did it one more time. They put the 18 minutes in one more time. They showed up one more day, one more week, one more month. The difference between a winner and loser in life, business, sports, health, marriage, family, the difference between a champion and a chump, the champion does it one more time. And then they get up the next day and they do it one more time. The power of the rule of 100, violent consistency. Download a copy of my book below at the link. It's free. No fancy website or sales page or goofy funnel. No upsells. All it is a free book I put together for you, 22 pages. You can print it off and read it in one sitting. Share it with your queen, your adult children, your key people in your life. Let me know in the comments below what you think about it. It's the 5 ways to unfuck your life. in the next 30 days. You probably need to use two of these things to literally transform your world in the next 30 days. That's how no fluff, no theory, and no bullshit this latest 22-page digital book. You put in your email, I'll email you the book within 5 minutes. That's it. There's nothing to buy. You couldn't buy something if you wanted to. Click on the link below, brassballsvideos.com. 5 ways to unfuck your life in the next 30 days. Who the hell doesn't need to unfuck their life? Nobody knows what the hell we're doing. Nobody's coming to save us. Nobody gives a shit about your problems. Nobody gives a shit about my problems. We're 100% accountable. We're 100% responsible for ourselves. If you want to change your life, change it yourself. You want to improve your business yourself. Nobody's coming to save us. Take 100% accountability for every win and loss in your life. Take all the credit for the wins and the losses. But nobody's knows, or nobody's figured it out. Everybody struggles. Everybody struggles, and everybody needs at some point in their life to unfuck it. Multiple times. Download the book below, and it'll help you get your shit together in the next month. 2 words that changed my life. Two other words that changed my life. Ruthless consistency, violent consistency, relentless compounding. But the 2 words that changed my life the most: be relentless.